knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni, the tree lady, hanging out
with that guy, Marty McFly, that's trying to make it do what it do, make it do what it do.
What it do. And there's a lot of doing going on.
Man, you know, it's so much to do, doing that's going on, and I don't even know if we need
finally wrapped up the Heard trial, which we know that's, you know, a little bit ago.
You're right. I was surprised.
Why were you, because we talked about this.
Right. Okay? We talked about it. I was surprised. I'm glad for the, with the parties, but I'm not even going to say I'm glad for the parties.
You're glad, because you.
Right.
Okay, because we were talking offline about the fact, and there's going to be some other stuff we're talking about, but since I brought this up, before I even say that, how are you doing? I'm sorry.
You know what, Doni, I am blessed and highly favored.
Yes.
I used to say that. I used to not really say that a whole lot, but I'm actually feeling good.
Yeah.
You know, it's a new approach to life of just always thinking positive, and so I'm practicing that, and I'm really feeling good. And then also I've been going to work out.
I know.
And that's
I've been
working out, and it's amazing how if you can control that first hour or 2 hours of the day. It kind of really shapes the day.
I feel like that's where we're going to go a little bit later on. We're talking about fitness, mindset. But more importantly, you said something before we started talking about, before we went on air, about not letting people tug at your feelings. So I think we should definitely get into that.
It was tug at your feelings, but also being in control of your own emotions.
Yes.
Because people will bug you, people will irritate you, but it's really how do you handle that situation? That, for one thing, it gives you growth, and we'll get into it more, but, really, when somebody cuts you off, when you're driving.
That happened to me today.
Right. Instead of you losing your mind, going out cussing and all that kind of, control your emotions.
That's true.
You know what?
So, everything that I think we're going to talk about, or at least touch on today, we may not go deep on some of the stuff.
Yeah.
It's somebody that lost their temper or lost their mind for a hot minute, and then they wound up in a tough situation. So
like
Amber Heard.
Will Smith. Yeah, Amber.
Well, Will Smith, we talked about already at length.
Right.
We got the hearings going on.
Yeah,
January 6th.
Yeah, the June 6th hearing and all that.
Yeah, January 6th. January 6th.
I keep getting. You know what? Because I got Juneteenth is coming up.
Yes, Juneteenth
so I'm getting
is coming
the
up.
June 6th and the Juneteenth stuff
Don't get that.
I know. I know.
Don't get those mixed up.
Willis.
And then it was one of the other. Oh, gun violence.
Yes.
So here's something that I heard somebody say. They definitely are. We as a country have to address the gun violence. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
But I also, and I know we're going to get calls, and if you do like what you hear or you don't like what you hear, call 1-888-349-DONI. 1-888-349-DONI. I'm just going to say it.
Yes, okay. All right.
I believe and support
the
Second Amendment with, quote, with an asterisk. Meaning, there's certain guns that we have right now, there needs to be some type of regulation on. There's certain things we have right now. For example, there's certain things on the internet. There's certain things we can and cannot do on the internet. Right. There was no laws or written constitutional amendments for the internet because there was no internet back there when the Constitution was was produced. Just like there was not any AR-15s or any other of these high-power weapons that people can just turn 18 and go buy who happen to have mental illness and destroy a lot of people. If you've ever seen a gun from back when this country was started, dude, what we have now to what we have then,
it's totally different.
Things.
It's totally different now.
I do support the Second Amendment.
Yep.
I do believe that law-abiding, mentally healthy citizens should have the right to do that. But I think at some point, we're going to have a real conversation in this country about that. And And I really believe that we're moving towards that point. There is not a day, and just for the liberals that are upset right now, and the conservatives that are upset right now, both sides know that nobody is ever going to take away all your guns. It's just never going to happen. It's part of the fabric and the foundation of this country. So stop thinking that what happened in Canada is going to happen here. It's never going to happen here. But what can happen is common sense gun laws. That can happen. But we
Doni,
have to be willing to talk to one another.
Doni.
What?
For some reason, we think that it's a gun problem, or a bullet problem,
mental health problem.
Well, it's usually the mental health, or because we can say, okay, well, have the guns or not have the guns. It's the people that use these things the wrong way. I'm saying if you had a butter knife in your kitchen, and people started using butter knives to go around and kill people. They said, well, you know what? We need to do some butter knife control. We need to remove the butter knife.
Yeah, but here's the difference between a butter knife.
But no. What I'm saying is, it's not the so much the person. I mean, the gun. It's we need to focus on the individuals.
No, I agree with that.
Because I don't agree that you need an AK-47 to go deer. AR-15 to go deer hunting. You know, you don't need these.
It is a killing machine for the military. But I also
you don't need that.
I also and once I don't know why I'm even walking into this water.
I
but
don't
I'm
know
feeling
because
some
you
kind
set
of
it up the
I did.
way.
So why do Americans need their guns?
No, protect yourself. I'm not mad about that.
About 2 months ago, okay, my daughter was at the park, okay, and there's been a lot of break-ins in my neighborhood. Okay, I know that's hard for you to believe, but there have been. And my daughter comes get back to her car. Her car has been broken into.
Okay.
Okay. Granted, she's safe. Everything's fine. There wasn't anything. But that very same day, the very same week that my daughter's car was broken into, there was a home invasion in my neighborhood, and the people attempted to sexually assault the daughter. Luckily, the mother was able to run off the assailants, and I believe she was armed.
Okay.
So, I do believe law-abiding citizens should have their guns.
Yes.
I do remember as a kid, my dad had guns. They would take us shooting. But it was also a situation where at one time there was a domestic violence situation in our home. But that's because both of my parents were mentally ill. You know what I mean? So there comes a point where it has to come down to personal responsibility, and both sides are not listening to the American people, meaning most people, not all, but most people say, you know what, law-abiding citizens should be able to have their guns, but let's put some regulation on these particular types of guns, and let's have a license, let's have a cooling off period, let's have a what is it called, a waiting period?
The waiting period, but Doni, and
learning how to use a gun.
Here's the thing. I agree with everything you're saying. And I think most people agree with everything you're saying. Yeah. But the ones that are committing these acts, they are not going to play by the rules regardless.
No, but we know that.
Right.
We know that.
So even if we did, you know what, gun regulations have a waiting period. Okay, well, I'll wait till next week to shoot them up. Okay. A gun permit. Oh, okay, I can work that out. Right. But it's the individual. What is making these individuals say, now I want to end my life and go shoot up a school or shoot up a hospital? What is getting into these individuals' minds that are saying, okay, is it the violent games? Is it what they're being exposed to now?
I think it's a little bit of all of it.
Right. So we can't just say, it's the guns that are the problem. Because I do, I'm not a big man, as I don't know if y'all can really tell that. So if somebody did come into a home invasion, I would like to have some kind of a weapon. Absolutely. I want to protect my wife and the family members. Or even if it's not a home invasion, I'm scared of snakes. I'm a country. I will shoot a snake.
But piggyback on what you were going to say. You were going to say you're a country boy, right?
Right.
And I grew up in the city, but we used to go out to the country.
Right.
And my uncles and the people that my dad knew and people we would go visit, they had guns.
Right.
And they were responsible gun owners.
Right.
And I'm so sick of the left acting like the only solution is to just take guns away. Because you're not going to stop a criminal.
No.
Yes, you may stop now you would probably mitigate. No, the situation like Buffalo and that, those were legally bought guns.
Here's what happened.
What?
The legal people that want to do the right thing would turn their guns in. And the criminals would say, aha, y'all are y'all turned all y'all guns in, but these people don't live by the law.
Right.
They're going to keep their guns, and they know that you don't have guns now.
That's true. Well, that's why I don't believe in taking.
No.
I don't believe, and here's the funny thing. This is what a lot of, and by the way, you guys, I'm independent. I'm not a Republican. I'm independent. But at some point, we have to have real conversations. We have to talk about not just the mass shootings, but can we have a real talk about the violence in our inner cities? Can we talk about that? Inner city violence, gun violence, black on black crime. Can we talk about all of it?
Well, and all of it is a educational thing that I think, like we said, we're going to talk about a little bit more, because I do think that it's a reshaping of people's minds and understanding that they feel that for me to get my point across, I have to shoot you.
Right.
We can't come together and discuss.
But guess what we're not taught in school? We're not taught emotional intelligence in school. We're not taught how to solve problems and resolve conflicts in school. And you know what? In my daughter's school, they talked about emotions. They talked about meditation and stuff like that.
It's sad. And I know this is a whole different subject that I won't even say the county or anything like that, but some of these schools now are just like, we're not teaching you, we just trying to get you through.
They're just trying to get you through.
I've been counseling a young man, a high school, junior high student that, okay, I'm gonna just be straight. This boy is bad. Okay, just bad. I'm like, every other weekend, you suspended again.
Yeah.
In school suspension, you're failing your grades. And then end of the school semester, he's like, I passed. And
you're like, how the heck did that happen?
And I'm like, you can't even spell Don's tree service or Don, but you passed. And it's like, okay, so, and you're talking about, well, our kids are learning about emotional, stress. I'm like, this kid over here in this county, they ain't.
But okay, and I'm glad you mentioned it. I actually want to.
Debate class.
How
do you debate without being upset? Right.
How do you conflict resolution?
Yes.
I remember debate when I was in either middle school or either freshman in high school.
Right.
Debate teaches you how to see things from both sides. But when you have a system that does not actually value its citizens like they say it does, then sure, there's certain communities that are gonna have those opportunities. And then you're going to go, well, they just don't have as much crime there. Well, they got opportunities that this other community
We're going to keep on talking. I know the beginning of this show just went a whole different way, but look.
It did go
We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. You're listening to Don, I was about to say the tree service.
Don's Tree Service.
Right, which
you listen, Donnie.
Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and Mardy McFly, and sponsored by
Don's Tree Service.
If it falls, you know who to call.
Don's Tree Service.
That's right. 770-413-TREE. We'll be right back.
Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree Service.
If the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I am that guy, Marty McFly, and also known as Pastor Marty Ringer, pastor of St. Mark Lutheran Church in beautiful East Point, Georgia. And right now, I just want to invite you to come worship with us. Yeah, we're back worshiping in person. Now, you can always check out any of our other services online at stmarklutheranchurch.org. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org. But I would like to see you face to face. So join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. That's 4137 Washington Road in East Point. It's right off exit 1 on 285. Come worship with me and the whole St. Mark family this Sunday starting at 11 a.m. 4137 Washington Road in East Point.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Trees.
Say, you about to do the same thing.
I'm going to do the same thing. You got me messed up now.
Right.
Okay, welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am the owner of Don's Tree Service, but today I'm doing a show, Doni Jones Live, hanging out with this guy.
Marty McFly, who was a pastor, a minister, a head do boy, and all that
and the
production.
Name of your church?
Is St. Mark Lutheran Church in beautiful East Point, Georgia, right off of Washington Road, exit 1. Yep. Come see me.
So we were going to talk about real quick about the education, and I kind of mentioned how you're right. My kids are learning about emotional intelligence. They've learned about meditating, about mindset.
Right.
You know, there's a little quote on the wall is like, if you don't know how to do something, don't say you don't know how to do something. Say you don't know how to do it yet. So little motivational quotes and stuff.
Yeah.
And there's other schools.
Excuse me.
Without those same things.
Oh no, you're not going to have that.
And so my thing is this. If we put the money in education, if we put the money in mental health, some of the issues that we're having right now would be mitigated. But here's the other problem. Our government.
I hear a problem in that.
Our politicians, I'm not going to say our government because I don't want y'all coming after me. Our politicians are taking our tax dollars and not doing what they're supposed to be doing with it.
Well, you know, I will.
And I don't care if it's right. I don't care if it's left. When you keep going into a deficit the way you are, but yet you got money to go help another country, but you got starving people in this country, but you got an excuse for it.
Before we go over there, come back down off the soapbox. Okay, come on back. Let's bring this to the local level real quick.
Let's go local.
Because you said something that is interesting. You said, you know, if we put more money into the educational system, which I do think they put money into the educational system. But it's which educational systems that they put the money into?
That's what I wanted to, that's where I was going.
That's where we're trying to go to. Because like, and I'm not being funny, but like you said, your daughters, they're learning about emotional intelligence and how to go. And they live in a, let's say, not too many people of color, you know, district. You know,
why are you messing with me?
No, I'm just saying, see, we do different posts. Your post was like, you know, I'm trying to sell a horse if anybody's interested in a horse being sold.
There's a funny story behind that.
We're like, yo, we heard some gunshots. Do anybody know what's going on?
Okay, you know, can I tell you real quickly what happened with that? There's, I have, oh gosh. Well, okay, that was a post that I did, which I'm not selling our horse. Okay? We're not selling my daughter's horse.
I was hoping you wasn't trying to sell Mr.
The reason what had happened was, as a parent, I was upset with my daughter.
I knew. I could tell.
I was irritated. And I told her that the next time she didn't do such and such and such and such, I was getting rid of her horse. And so that's why you saw that post.
Oh, I could tell. I could read right in between the lines.
You could feel that someone's up. So
I'm going to put my stuff out there in public. I'm going to be like Jada Pinkett.
I didn't say I was upset. I didn't say I was upset. This ain't red tape talk.
Anybody interested in a horse that, I was about to respond. I was like, no, that's a family issue.
I calmed down. So anyway, we still have our horse, and it's a great horse, and I have an amazing daughter. I just didn't know how to get her
But going
attention.
back to what we were saying, if you're going to a school that has horse riding and things of that nature, they put funding into that kind of community. You know, if most of your teachers and students got gold teeth, they're not putting too much funding over there.
Right.
You know, and I think that, when things come up and it's like, okay, well, these people are always in trouble.
Yeah.
You know, because they haven't been taught certain things. Now, at the same time, I will say that the majority of the people that are doing a lot of the mass shootings were not people that were going to those.
That is true. That is true. But going back to the system,
like that.
okay?
Leave it there.
And communities. We talk about the school system in Atlanta, okay?
Right.
And there was, my elementary school years with my kids, they went to a public school. They did, public, for their elementary school years. The elementary school that my kids went to was ran like a private school. When I walked in there and I saw it, and I was like, this is like a private school, like the way they took care of the kids, the
lunch lady, they can ask for different
opportunities.
cheese. Can I
They
have
had
the
a
white
whole
cheese?
section where there were brand new Mac computers for elementary schools, right?
Yeah.
And I own a tree service, so we got a call to do some work. And it wasn't far from an APS school. And one of the people at the school in this other community, in an underserved community, came out, asked for our card, right? And so me, proud of did I say the school district? Oh, I'm
No,
sorry.
you didn't.
Okay, good deal.
That's good.
So me being proud of the school that my kids are going to, that's a part of this system. This person also worked in that system, but on a whole nother part of town.
Yeah.
So I said, it's kind of cool what they're doing for our students, And she goes, what do you mean?
What you
I was
mean?
like, the way this district has come together to make sure our kids in this community
what you mean?
have the best, technology.
Oh, y'all got
She's
the best.
like, yeah. I was like, well, isn't this in the same school system as such and such school system? She goes, oh, yeah, it's the same school system. I was like, but didn't you guys get the Mac computers? She was like, no, we ain't got none.
No, we got some new pencils. We got some little notebook. Not like the notebook tablet. We got real paper notebooks. No, we got a new bus.
I said, wait a minute, but it's all the same district. It's the same system. She goes, the way they run things over there and the way they run things over here, even if it's in the same system,
and
it's
then
two totally
we'll
different.
turn around and say, well, we need to put more money into the educational system.
Yeah.
And they say, well, we do.
Yeah.
And from that side, where your daughters went to.
But why are there more resources on that side? And it's all part of the same system. That's not fair.
Just because, and I'll be honest, one of the things that we're not paying attention to right now, the votes for the localness. The local votes that say, hey, we want some change in our community.
Yeah.
Now we only come out really in packs when it's the presidential vote.
Right.
But when it's these, midterms
Local
and the
elections.
ones that can really affect the potholes in your front,
You better preach. Yeah.
we don't go out and vote for them. We let them just kind of like, okay, they win by, they put their name on it, okay, whatever. And then we don't get change, and then we look at just the presidency.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, they're not doing anything for us.
Right.
But they don't really affect that local that we don't go and vote for.
But we also got to learn to stop voting for the same people. If your community has not changed, you may have to vote for some people that you don't necessarily like.
But
But maybe their politics might work better for your community.
Yes, I would say this: stop voting for color. Vote for.
I was trying to stay away from saying that.
But I'm not thinking of color as in white and black. I'm thinking of red and blue.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of not voting for red and blue because some
but
blue
vote
ain't
on
right.
policies.
Vote on, put it like this, and I appreciate this. Me and my wife went through this a couple of weeks ago when it was the last election.
Yeah.
And we had a heart-to-heart conversation really about it because she said she was really adamant. We need to vote. We gotta vote.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Got to. She said, I said, who you voting for and why? And it's like, we haven't done our research. We need to do better in finding out whose platform and what they're standing for.
People? Yeah.
Why? Because it's like, then I ask them, like, when you go in, are you just pretty much going to go Democrat? Yeah. And are we doing ourselves a service or a disservice? Because, yes, we want to vote, we want our voices heard.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that only one side gets our voice.
Right.
And here our vote. But here's the other thing. We don't run to the other side either because neither side has our best interests at heart.
No.
But choose for your local area what will be best for your community, your family. And sometimes it might be blue, but sometimes it might be red. But here's the thing that the politicians in the red and the blue have to stop doing. Stop taking our vote for granted. But we have to make them stop taking our vote for granted. Because because we all decide, or some of us decide to run to the other side, that don't mean the other side likes you. Don't stand there and think that all of a sudden you're all welcomed in open arms. Just go, you know what? This ain't exactly what I want, but there's some things on the menu that will work for my community and my family.
Yeah.
And still make them work to earn your vote. After you vote for them, make them work to hold them accountable. And I think that's a lot of what we have not been doing. And going back to what I wanted to talk about, you talked about emotions. And a lot of us watch certain commercials or we'll listen to a politician do a speech, and then we get all emotional and we vote because somebody was holding a bunny, or somebody had a tree behind them and they said they were all about the environment, or because somebody's gonna, drain the swamp. We feel like, that's what they really need to happen. But are they really doing that? Or are they part of the problem?
They're part of the problem.
Or do they have good marketing?
You know what? It's politics and it's good marketing.
Yeah.
It's because we do not know who that person is
we don't.
Monday through Friday. I'm saying, I would say good marketing. Look at Will Smith. Will Smith had this image of, I've never done anything wrong. I won't even step on an ant, or in a sense.
Yeah.
And it's like, because that's the image.
Yeah.
Him, and granted, one act doesn't
it
define
doesn't
you or
all
anything.
of his career. Yeah.
But even with Whitney Houston,
Yeah.
Looking at her story in the sense where the marketing, when she came out, she was incredible.
Yeah.
And then the other side was like, oh, that's who you really are. But we see people like that all the time. A lot of these actors that you see, like even with Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Him as an actor is one person, but who he is at home, going through something, different person.
Yeah, but what I kind of, in a way, admire about him. I'm not saying I support everything he did, because he did some shady stuff too in that relationship.
They both did, yeah.
They both did, okay? But I actually respect the verdict, because there were so many instances where it was clear she was just straight up lying. But going back to Johnny Depp, he basically was willing to expose himself for who he really is, which is a drunkard, kind of a,
He's had some times with alcohol, with
drugs and alcohol, not always together. A little, discombobulated sometimes. So the whole image was destroyed just so he could clear his name and say, listen, I may be all these other things, but this is what I'm not, or at least the perception.
It's like, at the end of the day, I wasn't a woman abuser. I didn't hit you. I didn't do anything like that. Let's not have that. Now, I ain't perfect.
I ain't perfect.
Issues,
right.
But the repercussions of what you did really jeopardized my career in life.
Right. But that goes back to the emotional thing, not letting people jerk your emotions around.
That's my biggest thing.
And so I want to talk about that when we come back.
What I really want to focus on, because I am counseling so many young men.
Yeah.
Not the one that I was talking about in school, but just people in general that allow their emotions to really ruin the day, their life, their situation because not being able to control their emotions. There are people right now doing 20 to life because emotion. Oh, I'm mad, so we're going to shoot this place up.
Right.
Oh, I'm going.
Emotion. But you haven't been taught how to handle it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that when we get back. We're going to take a quick break. My name is Doni, and I'm Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am Mardy, and I got to get me a little tag, I guess. Mardy McFly, but anyway, we'll be right back.
All right.
Let's get on that topic.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
When it falls, there's only one tree company to call. That's Don's Tree Service. Call them at 770-413-TREE. That's 770-413-8733.
I looked out the window after the storm and found out that there was a tree that had fallen, so I needed somebody quickly. Made one phone call. The appointment was made. They got the tree down. They do full service cleanup so that it looked like nothing had been done at all. Don's Tree Service did an awesome job for me, and I would recommend them highly.
Hey guys, I'm Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. We are an Atlanta-based tree service serving all of Metro Atlanta. And you know what? We proudly serve the underserved. And not only that, when we cut down your trees, we don't charge extra for cleaning up. So give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I am that guy, Mardy McFly, and also known as Pastor Marty Ringer, pastor of St. Mark Lutheran Church in beautiful East Point, Georgia. And right now, I just want to invite you to come worship with us. Yeah, we're back worshiping in person. Now, you can always check out any of our other services online at stmarklutheranchurch.org. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org. But I would like to see you face to face. So join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. That's 4137 Washington Road in East Point. It's right off exit 1 on 285. Come worship with me and the whole St. Mark family this Sunday starting at 11 a.m. 4137 Washington Road in East Point.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.donijoneslive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Mardy McFly, that's trying to control emotions.
We're both trying to control some emotions today.
And I'll give you
an
easy example, okay? Easy example. For me,
yeah.
Every once in a while I play golf,
yeah.
and I enjoy it. And one thing about golf is you don't have a competitor. You don't have someone that's doing defense against you in a sense.
What do you mean? I thought I've seen people play golf together.
You ain't seen nobody stand in front of a golf ball and try to block it.
Oh, well, no. Okay.
I'm just saying, it's not a defense again. You don't have, it's really you.
I got it. Yeah.
You against nature.
Yes, I got you.
Your mind against nature.
Yeah.
What happens is people will look at whoever they're playing against and sometimes start getting frustrated because they hit a better shot, they're doing something better. And then all of a sudden your emotions starts changing.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I can't hit it straight because I'm trying to overpower, I'm trying to do other things like that.
Yeah.
Calming down, trying to control my own emotions. Now, I say that in regards to golf, but that's with everyday life too.
Yeah.
That, yes, I'm a pastor, yes, I'm a minister, but things will come at me that make me say, what the boop, 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 and you can, But I have to make sure that I can control my composure.
Exactly.
Because
if
not, I can allow that frustration
to
feed on me. And the next thing I know, I go home, and my wife was like, "Why you got an attitude? Don't take that out on me."
Yeah.
Because my emotion being upset with one person will bleed over to somewhere else. Like even right before we started doing the show, I saw you get a text, and your eyes rolled back, and I was like, "Donnie, I didn't
bring it back.
Bring it back. Come on, control that." Because especially when you're passionate about what you do.
Absolutely.
And me and you both, we have businesses, and we have people that answer to us, and we're responsible for stuff. So when things don't go our way, as an entrepreneurship, you still have to control your emotions. Point. We did a taping a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
With an entrepreneur at a location.
Oh, that's right.
And apparently one of their employees had done something.
Yes.
I'm not even sure what it was.
We heard it though.
Well, yes. We heard
they was like
things being cleaned and yelling and screaming and me and Donnie are, sometimes we tape our show. We were just like, okay, this is going to be a quick one.
Yes, exactly.
We're going to get on.
We're going to get out of here.
Yeah, and you've been listening to, we just wanted to get out of there. Because
we didn't know what was going to jump off.
Right.
When you hear that kind of stuff in the background, you don't know what's going to come next. So we was like, okay.
And then I always think of when you lose your temper like that, how do you still gain the trust of your employees and the people that are around you that can put their faith and trust back into you?
But also another thing, it's not just putting people's faith back into you, but it's once you've done that, all that stuff that you feel, all that anger, all of it, where does it go? What do you do with it? Because you think you've put it off on somebody else, which you have, but you're still running around with these feelings. But what I wanted to mention was that a lot of times people don't have the proper names for their emotions.
Right.
People, it's either they're angry, they're happy, they're sad, or they're frustrated. But how about sometimes you're not really angry, you're actually embarrassed.
You're embarrassed.
Or you're disappointed. We have got to come up, like we've got to dig deeper. And I know it goes back to mental health, but I was frustrated at myself about not getting something done, right? And it was something that I took pride in doing.
Right.
And because it involves one of my kids, I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but it's stuff that I take pride in doing, right? And I was so angry, and I took a deep breath, going back to what you were saying, and actually I want to be able to give people some real tools that they can do to handle their emotions.
We can do that too, definitely.
So I took a deep breath, and I said, what's really going on here? You made a simple mistake. You're not angry, you're embarrassed, and you're disappointed in yourself. And you're also thinking about what other people are going to think of you because you didn't get this thing done.
Right.
Nobody is sitting around in a committee going, we didn't get that email from Doni Jones.
Right.
And I just think she's just a lowlife. And here's the thing, though. Even if that was the case, why would I care what somebody who's not my immediate family thinks? And then if it's dealing with my kid or my husband, I can always go, oh man, I forgot to send that email. I forgot to get this taken care of and be done with it. But I know I'm still loved. I know I'm still appreciated. But my thing was my ego. I was wrapped up in ego because I wanted to look a certain way because I live in a certain community and I wanted to look like I was on top of it.
Right.
And I wasn't in that moment. So I wasn't angry. I was embarrassed and frustrated.
That is so interesting because we get frustrated or mad or have these emotions and don't know where they stem from. And even with me, something happened to me not too long ago, and I realized, why am I upset? Because it was about money, but it wasn't money. It was more of the principle.
The principle,
of what happened. And how did that make me feel? And I was counseling someone, and I don't use names or anything, but I was counseling someone with two instances, things that happened that a lady that she was just upset and frustrated, and I had to kind of like talk to her a little bit later on, kind of like figure out, talking to her more to find out what is the real problem here. And she was alone. You know,
she went
on a vacation with some friends and everything like that, but they didn't do the things that she wanted to do.
Yeah.
So everything else under the sun was, this ain't right, that ain't right, this ain't right, this ain't right, and they didn't do this for me, and this ain't, and I'm like, okay, but what's the real thing? And it's like, oh, you're feeling alone. You know, I had a situation with even some musicians a while ago that out of the blue, one of them got into it with everybody.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this isn't your person. What is the real?
What's the real
underlying thing?
Yeah.
And it's, you don't feel heard.
Oh.
You don't feel heard.
And so many people don't feel heard.
Right.
You know, one of the and guys, whenever we have these conversations, and by the way, you're listening to Donnie the Tree Lady. I'm Donnie the Tree Lady.
I'm Marty McFly. Yep. And I'm Marty McFly.
You're listening to Doni Jones Live. So, and tell people about our show, guys, because we really want to make a difference. But a lot of times, when people are going through these scenarios, I forgot where I was going with that. What did I say?
What's the underlying issue of your emotions?
Yeah, the underlying issue of your emotions, which I might be on a totally different thing now, but the underlying issue usually is something internal that you haven't allowed yourself to feel. Mm-hmm. You don't want to feel sad, so you feel angry.
Yeah.
You don't want to feel embarrassed, so you're angry. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. A lot of people nowadays don't feel heard.
Yeah.
And they feel like they're being put in a position where they got to hate their neighbor, even though they don't even really hate their neighbor. They feel like they got to pick sides when not everything on one side is the way they see it.
Right.
But they feel like they're being pushed.
To one way or another.
We are being pushed into one way or another, and that's not who we are as human beings. As human beings, we're very nuanced. There's a freedom and a beauty to being contradictory almost. Like, I really like this, but at the same time, I really like that. And I know that's a contradiction, but that's who I am as a human being. That's not even embraced anymore. It seems like it's got to be all or nothing. And human beings are not wired that way. So you've got media, and then also people feel like not only are they not heard, they're not seen.
Yeah. Not seen, not heard.
Not seen, not heard.
Important.
I'm not important.
Not valued.
I had we're probably going to have to roll this into another segment. But this about.
Go ahead.
I was doing an estimate for a customer, and she was a senior citizen. She really looked forward to going to the bank to deposit her check. She doesn't have to go to the bank anymore to deposit her check.
Right.
It's electronic. Her kids set it up to where it's electronically deposit. Her food, she's gotten up in age. Her food can get delivered to her right now. And she said, Donnie, I just feel very alone. And I know my kids set this up for me, but I actually enjoyed going to the bank and seeing the bank teller. She tried to call the bank, and you know it, because she was trying to take care of us. And there was an issue with her card, her little debit card or whatever. And she's like, they want me to press all these buttons, and I don't know how to do all of this. And then I call the bank, and they want to transfer me to another operator who doesn't know me.
Right.
She goes, the lady at the bank knows me, but it's like she doesn't even have time for me anymore. Now, granted, the lady at the bank is trying to do her best to implement the systems that the bank has put in place to make things run smoother. But do you know how many senior citizens, part of their daily routine was going to the bank, going to the grocery store. And even though they might be a little slow in the line and don't get their stuff out, that was an interaction with the checkout person. They don't have that anymore. And it's like, we don't realize what we're doing to people.
It's really sad. We're going to take a break in a second. I'm going to tell you this. We're going to take a break in a second. I had an Australian Shepherd, nice big dog, okay? Love the dog loved me and my wife, until we got an automatic feeder. That it didn't look for us to put the food down and pick it up and take it. It was an automatic timer, comes on, drops the food, it's on its own. As soon as we got that, probably like 3 or 4 months later, the dog got sick and died.
What?
Yep. It was no more needed. It didn't feel no more connection with family, never. And it just declined and went down. And that made me think, sometimes out of convenience can hurt other people.
Yeah, that's right.
You know,
that's
other
right.
things in your life. Now, granted, it was my dog, and I still loved it and everything
Right,
like that. But it made me think that when society tries to have a quicker, efficient system, it takes out the personal aspect.
It does. It does.
You know?
And we like these systems. Some of these
'cause
systems are
people-
amazing, but there's got to be a balance where we take care. And it doesn't even have to be the little old lady.
And
there's some young people that need that interaction.
If her kids had listened to the mother.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like what she said. I don't have a voice.
Yeah.
I'm not being heard. I'm not being valued. I enjoy going down there to see. Well, you don't need to do all that.
You don't need to
all
do
you gotta
all
do
that.
is just. But I enjoy talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our generation, I don't want to talk to nobody. If I don't know you, I want to be in, I want to be out.
preach.
I don't want to
Yeah.
go to the bank. I don't want to wait in line.
Yeah.
With their life, this is me holding on to my life.
Yeah.
I want to go and talk to Mr. Bob.
Quick story, real quick. On the way here, I wanted to grab you something to eat, right?
Thank you.
And according to whatever this lady saw on the computer, they were trying to tell me they didn't have any more chicken left for a chicken sandwich.
Not in this community.
Not in this community.
That's right.
We're just gonna leave that alone.
Yeah.
But the lady that was, working the grill or whatever, she was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "We've got some chicken left."
Yeah.
That one little thing, I could have drove off listening to
yeah.
this lady that was only looking at a computer screen.
Oh, there's gonna be
Now,
some
granted,
problems
there-
over
there
here.
should-
Y'all out of chicken?
Yeah. You
Wait.
silly.
Y'all out of we on Washington Road. Y'all out of chicken.
But so, in other words, there's that human element.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That, and she didn't have to bring it up. Like we do have it, but
Right.
just notating that we have it, we can accommodate our customer.
Yeah.
That speaks a little bit louder. Just
That's
listening
true.
and trying to be.
But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. You're listening to Doni Jones Live.
Yep, and we will be right back.
Yeah.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don Tree
If the
Service.
trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one fall on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-4133.
Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
Hey, welcome back. I'm Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly, trying to get some good information today.
I feel like we're
we
doing
wanna
some good
inspire
information
some people today.
And here's the thing, though, Marty. What I love about what we do, and what I love about the community that we're building, because it's so awesome how you guys have given us feedback.
Oh, yeah.
You've went on YouTube. You can go on YouTube, check out our show for a repeat.
Cussing us out.
Yeah, I know, right? They
Stop
thought.
telling the radio station to take us off. I thank y'all for that. I guess we have warmed up a little bit.
Yeah,
Me and you have matured.
we've matured. But here's the thing, guys. As a country, as a people, as a community, I don't care if you're black, white, Latino, Asian, whatever, gay, straight, bi, tri, whatever. Everybody needs love. And if we start looking through a lens of love, a lot of the issues that we have right now could be resolved. Are all of them going to be resolved? No. But right now, we're only looking through the lens of greed. And if you have yours, that means I can't have mine. And that is really not an abundance mindset. And here's the other thing. Everybody has different hopes and dreams in the world, But if we don't give people a chance to express those and also help one another and work back to support one another as a country, whether you're Republican or Democrat, if we don't find a way to go, you know what? I may not agree with you on these issues, but we're going to find a way through it. We're going to have some painful talks, but we're going to get through this. That's not where we're at right now. Right now, it's just throw a dagger at that side, throw a dagger at that side, and you know who's getting rich off of our anger at one another? The media company and politicians. So at some point, as Americans, as a community, meaning when I say community, I mean us in cities and towns and schools and colleges, anywhere a human being lives, we're gonna have to say, no more. We're not doing this anymore. I'm not going to hate you because you're a different color. I'm not going to hate you because you're Republican or you're Democrat. And here's the other thing. I'm not going to believe everything you say. I'm going to do my own research. And even while I'm doing my own research, I'm not necessarily going to believe everything I read until I listen to an opposing view. And I still may not agree with you, but I'm going to give you the space to be heard, and we're going to find a middle ground to where we can get to some solutions.
Doni, I can agree with you. For me, I'll suggest on the local level again.
Yeah.
The personal local level. Focus on yourself.
Yeah.
Because we have a tendency to identify enemies that ain't thinking about us.
I can see that.
We'll go back to, they don't like me, because I'm black. They don't like me because I'm Democrat or Republican. And that person ain't even paying
attention to you. Yeah.
We have to really restructure our minds.
Yeah.
Our outlook on life, because a lot of times we say, okay, those people are against me.
Yeah.
When they're not. You're against yourself.
Ooh, that is so true. Or we blow out, like say somebody has a different opinion than ours, we blow it out of proportion.
And it's their opinion, my opinion. Their opinion is just as valid as mine. And like you said, okay, I may or may not believe everything that you're gonna say.
Yeah.
You're not gonna believe everything that I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
But let's respect each other.
Yeah.
Move past that, but really more so for me, and what I would want to share with everyone here, control your own mindset.
Yes, control your emotions, your mindset.
That you have on your life, your situation, has monumental effects of your life.
Yes,
if
that's
you
right.
wake up thinking, today is going to be a bad day, don't nobody love me, don't nobody care about me,
That's
people
right.
are always going to misunderstand me, you are asking for God, in a sense, and the universe to bring that to you.
This is powerful, yes.
And that's what is going to happen in your life. When you sit and think about all the negative,
that's what's going to happen.
That's what comes.
Yeah.
When you start shifting and reshifting your life, saying, anything that happens to me is for my good.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything
that happens to me is for my good, even if it's something unpleasant.
Even if it's unpleasant.
And you know what? We're not going too far with it and saying this because if your kid dies, your spouse dies. Let's have some common sense with that. We know those things hurt, but there's still lessons to be learned in that. There's still an opportunity to reflect and love.
Understand, actually, okay, here's the biblical side of it.
Okay, talk to me.
Here's the biblical side. It's your enemies that define you, that actually promote you. Okay.
Yeah.
If anybody knows the story of Daniel and Goliath, okay.
Right.
If Daniel didn't
David and Goliath.
David and Goliath.
Are you sick? That is literally one of the most popular stories in the Bible that even I know, and I don't even know the Bible.
Right.
And you just said Daniel and Goliath.
I want to make sure you're paying attention.
Whatever. So
Since this is the biggest one, all right, that some people know, the biggest one. If he did not fight Goliath, he would have only been a shepherd boy.
Wow.
If he didn't have that enemy,
Yeah.
He wasn't in the army. He didn't go there to fight. He was going there to bring his brothers a sandwich.
Wow. Yeah.
That fight of that giant, that enemy that was put in him, promoted him to be king.
Well, it goes back to saying,
so same thing with Judas and Jesus.
Yeah.
I got that one right.
Okay.
If Judas didn't betray Jesus,
yeah,
he wouldn't have went to the cross. He wouldn't have had a resurrection. We wouldn't have this redemption, any of that. Sometimes these things in your life, don't look at them always as, oh, they're the enemy. Yeah. That's the negative. That's trying to break me down. Some of these things actually push you and promote you to where you are trying to go to.
Yeah.
You know, if I didn't have some of the trials and tribulations that I've been through, I would not respect where I'm at now. Yeah. And I wouldn't be. I'm saying, I've told some people who, some of the things that I've gone through, I can now counsel people with Because
well, before we wrap up, I do want to give people some tactical choice, some
oh,
tactical
so everything
ideas.
I'm saying ain't tactical.
No, everything you're saying is tactical.
Okay, well, fine.
No, everything you're
you
saying
ain't hearing me.
No, I is
You ain't trying to hear me.
I is hearing you. But I'm saying like point A, point B, whatever.
Right.
But one of the things that you can do, along with what Mardy is saying, is step back and take a deep breath. Mm-hmm. Step back and take a deep breath. If you're thinking about something and you're meditating or something, which usually you're not meditating, you're just thinking about stuff that's irritating you, think about how you're thinking about it. Mm-hmm. In other words, something is making you mad, step even further back and go, how and why am I thinking of this way? And what's a better way for me to look at this?
Mm-hmm. You know, when they say the renewing of your mind or repenting,
there you go. See, this is
you are going. You're turning from the ways that you have previously been thinking and the things that you've been doing into a new way. So when you do, like you say, when you're meditating or just kind of reflecting on the situation, you know, how can you do this better next time? You know, I used to always use this phrase of, based upon my past experiences, my current situation, and my future goals and dreams, what's the best thing for me to do right now?
What's the best thing for me to do right now?
Because I know if I hit this person right now, in my past, it ain't worked out because I don't weigh enough, and it might not work out.
And we don't want you going to jail.
Right. My current situation, while I'm a pastor, and me hitting somebody while I'm a pastor, not going to be good. If I want to grow my ministry and do things in the future, then having it on my record that I attacked somebody at the church.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing. So I may not need to put my hands on them and just pray about it.
Just pray about it,
If you take that approach in everything that you do.
Everything you do.
You know, trust me, I think your days and your months will start being a little bit better.
And the other thing is, a lot of times it isn't always frustration at another person. There's times that we talk really bad to ourselves.
Yeah.
Stop being upset with yourself. If you've made some kind of mistake or you've been down on yourself and things just have not worked, even if you're at the lowest place that you've ever thought and you don't know where your next dollar is going to come from, don't be mad at yourself anymore about it. You've already mulled over. You might be mad at another person for it. Then you become mad at yourself. Just choose to let it go.
Let it go.
You can still have negative stuff going on in your life and still choose to feel and think differently about it.
You know,
I remember one of the things that happened with me at a young age was because there was so much trauma in my home.
Right.
I was always in this constant state of either anger or, because I'm a little crazy, I'd be like always, in elation, like, oh, wow, this is amazing. And then I come home, oh, this isn't so great. I remember distinctly saying one day, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to feel like this anymore. And so I started changing how I thought about our family situation. And eventually, of course, I went to college and moved away and dropped out of college. But it's like that idea of thinking, I don't want to feel like this anymore. You just get to a point in your life, you're like,
I'm not going to do this anymore.
I'm not doing this anymore, and I don't want to feel like this anymore.
I'm not going to live like this.
Exactly.
Right.
And it almost automatically forces you to shift and create a different story. So that's the other thing that people can do. They can be in a situation or they can be in conflict, but they can choose to look at it differently and create a different story.
The way that you look at it, I am counting a guy. And sometimes I have to look at myself and say, God, I hope I said the right thing. But I was counseling a guy who was homeless, and he was saying that, he didn't have any place to stay at, losing his car. His dog had ran away or went somewhere. He had to board his dog or anything like that. And I told him, I said, well, the good thing is you ain't got nothing to lose now.
That's a good way to look at it.
You ain't got nothing to lose, so you can step out there. You ain't got no mouths to feed.
Yeah.
The sky is the limit for you. And if you look at it that way, well, okay, I ain't got no mortgage. I ain't got nothing. So I can do whatever I want.
You're at point zero. There's no place to go but up.
But up, and he started kind of listening to me. I'm like, well, what, you got a point.
We got a point, Ain't got a mortgage anymore.
I ain't got a car. Mortgage. I ain't got to pay. I ain't got to feed nobody else. I'm just here with me.
Yeah.
If you look at things like that,
trust
me, your morale and your life will start changing. That's not every day is not going. You're going to have still some hiccups, but those hiccups are really for your betterment.
Yeah.
Y'all have a wonderful week, Doni. You have a wonderful, blessed week.
then go listen to that song.
Yes,
Pull it up on
yes.
YouTube. Come Together, the Beatles.
Yep.
But anyway, thank you guys for listening to our show. Thank you, Marty.
Thank you, Doni.
Again.
And a wonderful, wonderful day. And we'll see y'all next week.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. I am that guy, Marty McFly, and also known as Pastor Marty Ringer, pastor of St. Mark Lutheran Church in beautiful East Point, Georgia. And right now, I just want to invite you to come worship with us. Yeah, we're back worshiping in person. Now, you can always check out any of our other services online at stmarklutheranchurch.org. That's stmarklutheranchurch.org. But I would like to see you face to face. So join us this Sunday at 11 a.m. That's 4137 Washington Road in East Point.